welcome back to the Communication Student Union podcast. We are very excited to introduce our rebranded podcast. Drum roll, please. Cherry Pit! Woo! So my name is Simran, and today I'm here with Melody and Jane. If you haven't heard of the CMNSU, I can give you a little rundown. So at CMNSU, our goal is to promote and protect the welfare of communication students at SFU while providing academic and social opportunities. We seek to build a community for students and offer opportunities to maximize their academic, social, and career interests. Okay, so I thought we could start off with a little bit of an introduction on who we are first. So we are the communications team. So there's a total of 5 of us. So it's me, Melody, Jane, and then Nursia and Chance, who could not be here today. But you'll definitely be hearing from them in future episodes. We're also hoping to bring on guests in a few of our episodes, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'll just start by introducing myself first. I am the Vice President of our communications team. This is my second year with CMNSU. I was the communications coordinator last year, and I will pass it on to Melody to introduce herself next.
Hi everyone, I'm Melody. I am a communication coordinator in the comms team here in the CMNSU. This is my first year in our club, in our student union. And yeah, I'm excited to see where this podcast and where everything takes us this year.
And I'm Jane, also a communications coordinator. This is also my second year with the CMNSU. Last year I was the Vice President of Internal Relations, but this year I'm really excited to be working on the comms team.
We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
So did you two know that you were going to join communications, like the communication program at SFU when you were in high school?
I did not. I went through a bunch of different majors before I landed on this. Straight out of high school, I thought I was going to go into computer science. I dropped out of that really quickly. I'm really bad at math. But then I decided I would be an accountant. It was a very dark time in my life. But eventually I landed on communication. I had a friend who had a family friend who went to SFU for communication. So she set up a little meeting for us. And yeah, she kind of just gave me a rundown on what the program was like, what her career path was like, and it just really appealed to me. So I'm glad I chose it because I really do love it. How about you, Jane?
Mine's actually quite similar to yours, I feel. So right out of high school, I had applied to SFU for the science program.
Wow.
And then I ended up going to Douglas instead, and I literally had no clue what I wanted to do. I took so many semesters just taking random classes, took some accounting courses as well because I was doing the business diploma there. They didn't really have a comms program, I don't think, or I took one class that was comms, but we did resumes and stuff, which is really weird. But yeah, so when I transferred to SFU, I was initially going to do business, and then I did one semester of that here, and I hated it so much. So I did the introductory comms courses, and I think I'd taken a year off or something. But yeah, I really honestly don't know. I think of a lot of comm students, I was oh, I like marketing, so I'll do communications. But I discovered obviously comms really doesn't have much marketing aspect to here.
I mean, you can go into it.
Yeah, but at least at SFU, but I'm enjoying it, so yeah.
That's crazy though, because I started at SFU too, and then I went to Douglas.
Wow.
And yeah, I did a bunch of semesters there. I was just to try to figure it out.
Yeah, I took the most random classes for no reason. I did a math class. I did not need to do a math class. I took accounting classes. I took a computer science class. And yeah, I really did not like any of those. And I really do enjoy the communication classes, even though it's not initially what I thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, honestly, the difference when you like what you're studying, it really makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about you, Melody?
I guess mine is like kind of similar in the sense that I didn't really know what I was doing. I've always kind of been like flip-floppy with like what I'm interested in though. So like in high school, at the beginning of high school, I was like, oh, maybe I'll go into architecture, and that was like kind of a thing for a while. And then besides that, I was like, maybe I'll go into music production. And I actually like kind of pursued that while I was in high school. But eventually I was like, I need to do something that like is broad enough that I can do whatever I want with it. And like I didn't exactly know what the communication program at SFU was gonna be like, but I knew it was gonna be broad. And I knew I could do a lot of things with it afterwards. So I joined the program. At first I was like, oh, this isn't like exactly what I was expecting, but I still liked it a lot. And I have done lots of electives like here at SFU too. And ultimately, like, communication is the program for me. I did MACM 101, a math course here. It was awful.
No.
Terrible.
I heard it's really hard.
And I did a computer science course here too, because I was thinking about doing IAT, which is our interactive arts and tech program, for those of you who don't know. And both of those, like, very much pursued me to not go into IAT. But yeah, so I'm sticking to communication. I like it very much.
Yeah, that's the good thing about those intro classes. They
really hook you.
Yeah, they either hook you or they warn you. I also chose communication because it's like general enough. So, because I feel like it's the perfect degree for people who, I don't want to say are scared to make a decision, but like
they want their like options open.
Yeah, because there's so many different like paths that you can pursue post grad. So it's not like you're confined to like a particular career path.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you guys want to join the CMNSU?
I honestly just saw like the applications open. I think I was following the account at the time, and I literally submitted it at 11:59. But yeah, I wanted to get more involved in clubs in general. This is like the first club I've joined, and I'm in my last year now. So yeah, I wish I joined some sooner because there's a lot of value in it. But that's pretty much the story. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about also joining a club, whatever club that might be, just because I started university in 2020, so it was like COVID times, and I did zero, like I didn't talk to anyone basically for the first like 2 years, and I was like, okay, maybe I should start talking to people and like getting involved in things rather than just studying for my whole like university experience. And I did a co-op, and my co-op happened to be in the School of Communication, and through that, like, I met Alan, and like I saw a little bit more about what the CMNSU was about, and I was like, okay, this seems interesting, maybe I should join, and now I'm here.
Yeah, similar to you guys, I went most of my time at university not getting involved in anything. Like, I would talk to people in class, but then, like, after the semester was over, I would never speak to them again. And yeah, so in my like second to last year, I guess, I was like, okay, I'll join the CMNSU.
It's time.
Because I saw the application, but I don't even think I followed them on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't that like an interview question?
I think it is. I think
it's like, no, maybe it was for like comms. It was because I remember we had like, for our coordinators, we had questions about like the blog or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I don't think that came up in my interview, luckily. But yeah, and then I think getting involved and joining a club is really like the way to go, because it's
a great way to like meet people in your program.
And it's also like this is something I've been suggesting to like any new student now, is to get involved, because like it gets lonely if you're not like actually like actively pursuing clubs or
Yeah.
like volunteer or like whatever around the school. Because like at a big university like SFU, lecture halls are like giant, right? So you're not like getting the opportunity in class to talk to people really, unless you're doing like more specified stuff. But yeah, so I feel like you have to like, if you want to talk to people, make friends, you like kind of have to do something like this.
Yeah, especially if you commute, which I think a lot of people do. Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard. That's why building community is in our constitution.
Yeah.
So Simran, how did we come about choosing the name for our new podcast?
Honestly, it happened when I swallowed a cherry pit. So essentially, I was eating cherries during one of my meetings with our president, Alan, and I swallowed the pit. And he kind of jokingly suggested that we name the podcast Cherry Pit. And so I noted it down, but our team went through like a whole brainstorming process, and we came up with a lot of wonderful like ideas for the podcast name, but eventually, like as we narrowed it down, we came back to Cherry Pit and it stuck.
Yeah, when we were doing the brainstorming, we had a lot of fruit ideas like vitamin C and lime thyme and green lemon. And I think they're all great ideas, but I am happy that we went with Cherry Pit because there is the little bit of backstory to it.
Yeah, we went through a bunch of voting processes within our team, but also within all of CMNSU more generally. I think there was like, how many votes did we go through? Like at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we ended up with Cherry Pit, which I'm very happy about.
And I don't think that Cherry Pit was the unanimous decision either. I think it was vitamin C, but we decided to overrule it, and I'm honestly happy with our decision.
I'm happy as well.
Me too. I think, vitamin C had a lot of like votes because people thought like the C could represent communications, and I don't know, there was just like a lot of puns with it, and I think it swayed us for a second there.
Yeah, even though that wasn't our intention at the beginning.
No. Yeah. I'm really glad we stuck to our instincts.
Yeah.
Cherry Pit just has like a good ring to it. And the logo is so cool.
Yeah.
It's like if you guys haven't seen it, it's like 2 cherries hanging off of a stem, and one of it is like spitting its pit out, and then the pit
just
makes
like Simran.
So the second cherry is me, and like I'm spitting the pit out, and it, like the eye makes the eye in Cherry Pit, or like the dot in the eye. So cool. I love it. Shout out to Tati for making that for us on our creative team.
Woo! Woo! So since we're recording this the second week back to school, we thought that this would be a great opportunity to bring out the back to school topic to the first episode of the podcast. So one question I have is, what advice would you guys give your first year selves?
For me, I would just tell myself to like join clubs a little earlier and just like get involved in that whole aspect of things, because I feel like it would have made my I guess like my start at SFU a lot less lonelier, as like Melody kind of mentioned, and just give me a lot more motivation and purpose on campus.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say like a similar thing, but I feel like there wasn't even that much opportunity during COVID time.
Oh yeah.
So like I think what I would really recommend myself like in the first year is to get myself organized, because I'm like naturally a little bit like scatterbrained. And like I feel like it took me a second to like really get into the groove of like organizing myself for university. Especially with COVID and it being online, it was like easier to slack off. And then so now that like everything's back in person, or it's been back in person for like over a year, I think it was like more difficult for me to get into that. But yeah, how about you, Jane?
I think I would tell myself to not be afraid to like lighten my schedule, because I think that especially going into university, like school is a very weird learning structure. I feel like it's definitely not for everyone. And I think so many people, like we just talked about, like none of us knew what we wanted to do coming out of high school. So I think that just even taking a semester off out of high school would have been so helpful for me, or taking less classes some semester. I ended up taking like a year off, like midway through, and I think that looking back now, that was a really good decision that I made for myself. And I know that I think a lot of people get so focused on finishing within a certain time period, and I know that like a year or two added on to your degree seems like a lot of time, but I feel like an extra year or two is really not actually a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. So I think that just taking my time would have made school a lot more enjoyable, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. I would just also recommend, because the both of us started at SFU and then went to like Douglas, so I would recommend, because I know in high school, at least like the one that I also went to, it was like very competitive. So being in like grade 12 and like seeing everybody know exactly, or at least think that they know exactly what they want to do, and getting accepted into like prestigious universities, it kind of makes you think that going to a community college is like the most like horrible thing you could do for yourself. But I feel like going to a university not knowing what you want to do is just
a waste of money, honestly.
Yeah, a waste of money, and just it's not the right way to go, at least for like me. So I would recommend starting off at a community college, exploring your options, and then transferring when you're ready. So I see that you guys both have bags with you. What do you guys usually pack in your school backpack?
Do you want to go ahead?
Sure. So I think the one thing that is most crucial that I pack in my school backpack is my Lysol wipes.
Yeah.
We use them when we are coming into the podcasting room.
We do.
I think ever since COVID, I've just become so like aware of how many people probably touch like a table that you're sitting at or stuff. And I've noticed like there's always crumbs like on tables, and it just really grosses me out. So even though I feel like people probably think I'm a little weird when I like pull out my Lysol wipes to wipe down the table if I'm gonna like study somewhere, I have to do it. I feel like I can't relax if I know, if I'm thinking about how many germs are on the table. But other than that, I feel like nothing super out of the ordinary, just like hand sanitizer and my lactate pills just in case, you know.
Gotta have those.
Yeah. Nice. I just remembered that I have a little like medical kit that has like band-aids and stuff in it. So there's that. I've never used it. I've had it for I think like years, like since the beginning of high school.
It's good that you've never had to use it.
Yeah, it is good. I'm sure there's been moments that like there's been opportunities to use it, and I just like have forgotten that I have it. I think something that like I always have to have in my bag is chargers, because all of my devices are always dying. My laptop, my phone are like constantly dying because they're all old. So chargers were very necessary, and my headphones. And what else? Like lotion and lip balm. Oh, yeah. And I think after that it's like, oh, you said you were like lactate pills. I don't have lactate pills, but I always keep Tylenol, or like Tylenol cold and sinus, because like my sinuses will like act up when it's cold, especially up here at SFU. So stuff like that, and I get like migraines.
Yeah, I feel like I get frequent headaches. Yeah. And you think I would learn to bring Tylenol, but I don't.
What about you, Simran?
I have a lot of stuff in my bag. I always have my water bottle. Can't go anywhere without that bad boy. I have all my vitamins. I take like 8 a day. My doctor was very impressed when I did my blood test. And then I keep my crystals in there.
What kind of crystals do you keep in your bag?
I always carry my rose quartz and my carnelian. I just find they do the trick.
Okay.
I also wear my rose quartz and my amethyst on my arm. This is just turning into my my
Crystal Hall.
my crystal hall. What else? I mean,
sorry, after you're done, if you could like go over what they mean, because I'm always like very curious about like the meanings behind each of the kinds of crystals, and I like have no clue.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
So you don't
You don't know.
No, I have like a general idea. So the carnelian is good for enhancing your self-esteem and creativity, combating feelings of inadequacy, and increasing physical energy and overcoming insomnia.
Maybe I should get one of those.
Yeah.
It sounds really helpful.
They're really good. And they're so cute.
Yeah, I think they're so pretty, and I've always wanted to like get into crystals, but I feel like it would just seem like weird if I just bought them without knowing what they do or for a reason.
They always have little cards that explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you notice a difference whenever you carry crystals around?
I think so, but I don't know if it's like a placebo.
I feel like either way.
Yeah.
Even if it's a placebo, it's worth it.
It's just a little boost, you know? And then rose quartz it purifies and opens the heart to all levels. At all levels to promote love, self-love, friendship, deeper inner healing, and feelings of peace.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
These are my back to school essentials.
Back to school haul.
Yeah.
Okay, so most people who I've talked to that go to SFU say they don't like how the campus looks because, as is commonly known, the architect who built the SFU Burnaby campus was also a prison architect. However, for those of you who don't know, he was also the Vancouver Art Gallery's architect.
Yeah, and the law courts.
So it's not all prison like. Anyway, so I brought that up because I wanted to see what spots on campus you guys like to hang out at the most. Maybe the spots you think look least prison like.
I really like that area that's like near kind of below the Images Theater. Like if you walk to that end of the hallway and then you go down the stairs, there's like it's pretty like cozy. There's lots of seating, there's washrooms. I feel like that's probably my top spot.
I like that one too. I think the student union building is really nice. I feel like it gets like a lot of good lighting. It isn't as prison-y. There's just like a lot of different seating options.
Yeah, I like the student union building as well. I feel like if you're someone who likes the like natural like sunlight, it's a good spot. And there's like it's right next to the like main. Maybe it's not the main, but there's like lots of food options there. Yeah. So when you're feeling hungry.
True. What are your guys' favorite food options on campus?
I am a Steve's Poke girl. I feel like it's just the perfect meal. Like it's very filling. I feel like it's still healthy. And it's delicious.
Nice. Is this are we sponsored on the podcast?
Steve's Poke, if you're interested. So are we.
That's a good one. I don't know. I feel like I go to different places. But a good like Tim Hortons for anything. Yeah. Coffee, food, sweets.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say like A&W or Starbucks, but if I'm like a little more peckish and looking to spend a little more, I love the new dining hall.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Oh my god, Jane. It's so good. Like, there's so many different, like, it's a buffet, which I
Ooh.
love buffets. And
Me
there's
too.
so many different options. They have like a soft serve machine,
Oh my god.
a pizza
Yeah.
station.
I think in the morning they do like make your own like pancakes and waffles
No.
Stop.
Oh my
I'm pretty sure.
God. Yeah, I love that place.
Okay, I definitely need to go there.
Yeah.
I think that brings us close to the end, unfortunately, of our first Cherry Pit podcast episode. We did want to open up the floor to you guys. We're going to be having some Instagram polls soon and weekly before our episodes, so you guys can give us suggestions of what you want to hear on this podcast or ask us any questions. And our podcast is going to be coming out every Monday, and you can also look forward to our blogs every Wednesday and Friday. Do you guys have anything else to say?
No, I think that just about covers it.
I don't either.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.